Minx comes out there for Star. Choose now trying to stay up. Oh, there it is. He lets it loose. Well, Saweria was talking about the Tai Chi. Now we do have Star trying to stay up. Wufang joining the party. He knows this is a perfect opportunity for him to try to stay up. Oh my God, the dazzle in the backside bow shot there for burst. And we see him do this earlier as well. The aerial jump LMBs there from Star from the long sword and choosing to be forced to pop his ultimate. And now this could be a big problem for him here once his ultimate runs out.
Exactly, 18-second duration for V1 in solos right now, and we used to see V2 during the offseason, but they had gutted it in half of the healing, so V1 having more predominant usage just because of the HP shield that you get. Only problem is right now, everyone can look towards his direction and make sure that once his ultimate ends, it can go in. Oh, Star gets caught by the dazzle though. Cannon shot's good for it. The Rupture Guild Orb actually starts to proc in here as Shusheng goes flicks and finds an armor swap, loses the gold armor, but that's okay, he doesn't have supplies for it anyways. And now for anyone else that could looking for that gold armor to try to use it later on, looks like Shusheng versus Combo Breaker, drop down to R&B, gets 100 healing from the F1 proc, and looks towards the Scare Rush out the window sill. Nicely done. Another target though, another Shio, another worry. And there's going to be another chance for him to kite around here, looking for that purple armor fully refreshed. There's going to be a chance here to pick it up. Look at sort of holds horizontal, gets caught by the jump LMBs back to back, and there's one clink, an engraving reveal. This gives Shusheng something to think about here as the F1 goes ahead and gives him aerial position, but there's not enough time here. The zone takes out. Wufang gets the elimination with that Rupture Guild Orb, and now Edward trying to kill against Star in the background. It looks like against Star. Edward looks like get that soul bloom as a pickup, and this is going to be where he gets himself into the end game circle with 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Seeing this is what I was talking about. Wufang with 0 eliminations, but being able to stay up in these lobbies, picks up 2, jumps out from 12th to 5th. Just like that now, securing these eliminations, doing everything he can, and now everybody's pretty much level low.
Streaming di YouTube.
You know, Edwin and Orano, you know, just playing around each other right now. The uncles know. Yeah, I'm playing around this.
Gue streaming lagi.
I'm playing around. I know you're juiced up right now. I see your gold armor. We do
see
full inventory out right now. I mean, what a beautiful setup that he needs here for this end game. 4 eliminations on the board for Lonnie. I mean, this character is just growing on me more and more and more, you know, just, I love her character design. She has a phenomenal kick. I mean, we've seen how strong Alani can be in these games. I mean, these games are not easy, right? I mean, this is the best of the best in these lobbies, and being able to, you know, go against a Shayo and a Liam and come on top. I mean, what else can we ask for, right? We do see how strong the character is, but Wufang also with a nice little kid on him here on the Shayo. We do have a Temmie still up here for WBG's verse. WBG's verse on the Tumult.
Murat ngomongnya jauh banget dari mikir
very early. A lot of players do get eliminated pretty early on the Temmie, but you know, Temmie in the end circle can be a very dangerous character to have. You know, be able to slow.
Lu jauh banget sama mikrofonnya.
Our zone starting to spread now. Zone 6. We are going to be moving into our last zone right after this, and you know, this is where it gets spicy. And this terrain is looking spicy here. So I mean, look at the drop ball here. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plans out.
Yeah, we're gonna actually take a look at the replay right beforehand where Star was able to get the kill against Shusheng. Double beats to the extensions and goes through the engraving, right? But we saw how Edward gets the elimination against him. Watch this. Right, once he catches the kill with the Rupture Guild, Wufang was able to find the elimination. Star was stuck inside, and Edward finds the last hit confirmation off of there. So that was where how Star got rid of. And one thing to know is that Edward has an advanced heal, has a storm stride. He's actually healthy as is, and he had 10 armor powders from the start from what we were able to witness. Wufang though has 1 vitality. If he gets caught into a burn, no one else has a burn jade in the major. I know that Wufang has himself to use his scorch skill. He's at 1 more repair chest in his kit to try to burn out. Edward is the biggest threat here, but also Tumultuous. You mentioned earlier how easy gets fast picked off here. This terrain is not really in his advantage right now. This cliffside, this whole sightline and verticality, this puts him at a spot where by the time that we reach into the final seconds, his ultimate's gonna have to catch everyone in 1 spot.
Yeah, I mean, this terrain is gonna be very tricky. I'm looking at the Tumult. I mean, how hard it's gonna be to try to catch these players. The Lonnie, I think this is Lonnie's playground right now. The Shayos could use the terrain for their favor as well to try to stay up there with the ultimates once his zone fully closes. But just a matter of seconds, we will be seeing that unfold. 1 second for the next zone to start spreading here. Zone 7 now.
Turnamen memang gitu.
Smaller players getting closer.
Zona aja habis masih tarung mereka.
Only 2 players
masing-masing
here in this lobby so far with a gold armor fully scaled out. And now goes to the Lonnie. Wufang and Verse are playing at middle to low ground here in this terrain. The zone started to spread. All these players are going to start moving in pretty soon. Now in a matter of seconds, we do have I believe that was Alani F called in. Halber's in hand for Wufong, trying to see if he can find some sorts of damage. Orano gets flinged out inside the zone, trying to stay up. We do have him eating up a little bit of damage. Edward playing the high ground here, investing all the grapples, plus the Lani ultimate now. Staying the low ground, burst now, calling in the Teme ultimate, trying to see if he can find some value off of this. Orano connects off the V2 there onto Fong. Big damage here inside the zone, but Orano takes a lot of white health.
Edward,
connects there for Edward, and first trying to stay alive, and it's a tie, but Edward is sure going to be taking his MVP with 5 on the board, and what a beautiful showcase in here for first game of the day.
First game ever got, he won Romyang, he fought Spider, he went crazy, bro. He went crazy. He fought Spider and Romyang.
Posisinya memang bagus, dia paling atas. Edward
clean
tadi.
Gamer for today, gets second place, gets 5 kills, gets 7 points for game 1. And has himself at the top of the leaderboard. And for the match,
yang lain pada bertarung dia masih bisa healing kan.
And in the next following round, we'll end up going ahead and see whether that player gets MVP to win the day out. And having an opportunity to see the end game zone, I actually want to talk about how Wufong was in there with the V1 and just having his opportunity to down, especially against the Akos, against Arana to throw those V2s. Just hatching
sama Robby lagi, aduh marah-marah aja gue sama Robby.
But even with Verse actually pulling himself out with the smoke wisp in midair, just trying to work it through and throwing him down, that's just a difficult endeavor. It's a difficult endeavor indeed. And for Edward having his MVP as Lonnie, this is
once again.
Quite possibly. Good motivation, good morale boost. My man's getting surrounded by his peeps. And I told you, man. What did I say? Don't pull up on me.
I told you I was gonna win you around. I told you.
He
did. I mean, taking out Mike and Spider in the round. Beautiful showcase in that from Edward. But I mean, man, I just got a little PTSD from day one where I was casting. I was
ada tantrum sendiri kalau sama Bang Robby.
I feel like you have.
Jadi sepanjang match itu ngomel ya. Karena juga kasihan gua ngomel mulu, kasihan juga Robby-nya gitu kan. Tapi nggak ngomel nggak enak.
Being the only Lonnie in the lobby, as well as how Edward was now, just being able to be a big nuisance there with that V2 being called in. I feel like that ultimate in a very small congested area, like how it is for the end circles, it's just super strong. And
ngomel nggak enak.
I think that you just got to full focus Lonnie's there in that situation. We did see the Temi ultimate getting invested there pretty early. Just the terrain was just super rough there. It does scale up there on top of the terrain, but I feel like with just how the end circle was there, it was just a very rough place to try to play the tumult. The Shayos as well. I mean, it's just terrain there was kind of rough to see, to say how to be playing out. So I am going to be keeping an eye on how the Lonnies are playing out that end circle. But we are starting to see a pattern of the V2 being very strong in the last and final moments of the game. But another thing that's strong is these answer for treasures. Everybody at home, make sure you guys type in your answers in the chat in order to win a Spring Split random gift. The question will be, which player killed Bada's Choose finally? I think just Bada's Choose in game number 1. Is going to be WZ Arano, B WBG's Verse, C OA's Edward, or D TE Wufong. And that is our first answer for treasure. So very, you know how it is throughout the whole night. These questions are just going to get harder and harder. Everybody got to pay attention.
Always, it's like finally, he's lived far enough. My man went past the expiration date. You gotta throw it in the trap.
Maaf bang, nggak ngerti Inggris bang.
First place comes out here with not for placement, but for just having as many kills as he had. 5 eliminations in that game. 7 points as stated earlier. Wufong get the second place as well, or actually has second place in overall with 4.5 points. 3 eliminations, 1.5 replacement. And then we see Chusheng with 3 eliminations with 4 points. 3.5 points given to Arano. 3 points for Star and Verse. 2 points for Fong and Frostivus. 1.5 for Spider and A-Shao, and XY with 1.5. And head scratch moment with Mike with 0 points. Listen, first game jitters. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that his fight incident around Yang, this kind of stuff going through, and especially him being a zipping and not being her as much. He was trying to see if she had any sort of viability in terms of being a surprise pick, but we saw what happened against the prime target, especially against Lonnie's and her chasing him down, especially against seeing about what happened at the Purity Chamber. He just really didn't have any sort of way of catching elimination again, especially against chasing out Chishang, who was not going to let that happen as Syra. And for this is going to be Edward coming out here for 12.9 points in the overall. Like we mentioned, 28 points. That's the match point threshold for you guys who are new to the scene in terms of Nbpl, of understanding how this works. Is that when a player reaches that threshold of 28 points in a game, that game does not end, and they are not the winner at that point in time. They have to catch an MVP in the following game. in order for them to win now. If we end up going through all 8 games and we have multiple players with the match point threshold and they still don't get MVP miraculously somehow, it ends up going to the highest score unit.
Ada. Dia masih hidup, sehat walafiat gitu loh.
We'll never know how that ends up writing out. But we're gonna get some highlights brought to you by Unicom, and we're gonna see some replays, especially this first fight at the Ancient Sake.
Pengen apa?
Take it away.
Katanya Mora pensiun.
No gamers united, man. It's just sad. It was just unfortunate, but we do have a job. Beautiful combo swap there onto the pole sword.
Devon bilang udahan.
Comes out on top as well with the B2, catches the R&B there for the finisher.
Buset, gede banget suaranya.
Tar dulu, Philip. Emang udah ada baru Devonnya.
Beautiful showcasing there with the Liam V2. Choose what amazing
emang kalau tiap ditanya Devon bilangnya apa?
Swaps on over to the gold fan for the extra damage. Massive scare rush paired up from Edward into the raw dragon TOD onto Spider.
Enggak, orang aku tahu nggak aku kemana.
Into the restand there with the old back to back. This Edward coming in hot here for that Roma Yang, FPS EQ star, massive jump parry down to
Enggak, aku tuh lagi RP keluarga kan.
Had to force out this fight here against Star, but Star is staying up here on the shot, yo.
Jadinya kemarin itu emang aku nggak ke kota sama sekali bulan kemarin karena bulan kemarin, bulan ini overwhelming sama kerjaan di atas kan. Aku terus bilang sama Devon, aku nggak tahu aku nggak ke kota lagi kayaknya. Aku lagi
gitu. Wins you MVP.
Kenapa Devon kenapa? Ceritain dong, kepo. Kenapa? Aku tuh sebenarnya aku tuh pengen kesana sebenarnya. Cuman takut Devonnya nggak ada. Terus aku ngapain di sana nggak ada temen kan?
Edward here with his third MVP.
Aku kalau kesana tuh selalu sama Devon. Lagi tsunami.
F1 V2 Soul Slash Storm Strike quick charge undercall. Damage reduction jab and advance hill. I mean, you see how strong that advance hill can be, right? Over time, being able to have the most value out of the vitalities and powders, and especially in the situation that these players in, where at some point those resources become very, it becomes very rare. You're just eating up a lot of damage. You have the movement and the knowledge to stay safe. So you are using a lot of those resources time and time again. So having that in your inventory is just a beautiful J to have. I mean, just rocking the Doha version of staff. I mean, what a showcase in here for Edward. And he continues to be able to play like this. He will be able to take the ship home.
Tapi nggak sih kalau artinya nggak keluarga. Karena aku kalau bangun nggak ada siapa-siapa.
Kalau fantastic up lagi harus
buru-buru.
Ya, oke. Bilang ya.
Menjadi RP yang menarik.
This is actually something we want to talk about in terms of circles.
Karena dia tiba-tiba udah tanya dulu, dia udah punya pacar belum? Kalau udah punya pacar aku datang tapi RP-nya aku gedein.
Iya itu dia.
Ada pacarnya nggak? Deket sama Lana.
Enggak, Lana sih enggak.
Sama siapa?
One thing that makes Lani kind of an interesting point is that she's kind of operating like Shayo or some certain ultimates that activate in there.
Wah anjir, sumpah gimana ya, aku ntar gimana ya. Aduh males banget, artinya berat anjir. Iya, soalnya aku kan, dia kan bilang kan, sebenarnya Devon tuh bilang ke aku, kamu mau nggak kalau dikejar sampai atas, dia bilang kayak gitu. Enggak deh, aku bilang gitu kan, kita dibawa aja. Terus aku kan overwhelming itu kan.
Right? Whether using it for fireflight,
lucu banget anjir.
Aku
nggak pernah itu.
Pada kudusa indah emang nggak main di
still there. But the other side is the fight part. Is that she can just throw it, deal massive amount of AoE damage in terms of selective
Zoe
whatsoever. Because like I said, and I wanted to mention this in the very first fight when we saw Asia versus Mike, was that Asia was able to proc the ultimate. It cost 60% to activate the ultimate, and then afterwards it is 40%. Left on the rage part for the first throw of her F when she's an ultimate for B2, it's a free cost. And that just gives her a lot of retention in terms of the Immortal War economy of rage. And just being one of the few rage-based ultimates that we still have in terms of the most used characters, that makes out. Liam has switched off of V1 to V2, so that's the ultimate. Shile's already defaulted to 100% ultimate usage. Syra as well. So having a unit to be in the vicinity of using her in the Firefly maps to have, not only to just using ultimate once, but having
kan udah ada tandanya, kalau nggak ada tandanya berarti nggak online ya sih?
Mana sih? Nggak ada. Oh iya ini enggak kayak gitu. Nih lihat nih.
Yeah,
Nomor siapa?
It just looks annoying to deal with. You know, like just straight up, just looking at it, how watching these players play it, it's just so much pressure, right? Just being able to keep that rebounds going time and time again in an end circle. That zone is ticking for so much, right? Like you trying to kite around. You're just ticking for so much damage. Someone's getting caught up right behind you or near you, like you're possibly gonna be eating that damage as well. So I mean, I see the beauty of that V2 shines very, very good at the end circle. I see the potential of the V1 early to mid game. I mean, being able to get those long range picks there with the V1. But I mean, just overall, the character just looks phenomenal here in these games. Crazy sight. I mean, OUG's Mike with a donut into game number 1, right? I mean, that is a crazy thing to see. You rarely don't really see Mike going off just with, you know, no points on the board. You know, right before that first run, Yang had a beautiful start, right? He came in there with that round with a gold fan, was scaled up. I mean, he got realm for free, was getting aggressive on a little bit, but everybody backed up, gets inside the realm. Just, I feel like that fight against Edwards, it was just a big momentum switch, right? I mean, that was like... That was just insane. Like,
bro, I saw that. I was like this. I was like, bro, no way this man just got the MVP in that fight, bro. I was like, there's no way, bro.
Yeah.
And it makes it very apparent in terms of like the overall switch up. I mean, we saw last year that interview, right? One of the more potent interviews that we've seen, where Mike said this year's been very difficult because it's a decision between skill, like not the skill of the character, but like the skills, ultimates.
Correct. Oh yes, I remember.
Having abilities in the mix versus knowing your weapon knowledge, right? And that's the thing where Lonnie, she's very versatile in terms of her weapon selection, because like we saw the halberd, you just go for a meter dump into the knock up. As long as they're in there, she can knock back in terms of the flop state. And this comes out towards where the average of, you know, of how the players, you know, seek in terms of using the characters in battling the thought process of whether or not it's ultimates versus using the skills or combining both of them. Some characters, they can't use both of them because they switch off their ultimate, like Kylan, Syra. Yeah. Sometimes in the aspect of Akos, right, he's a hybrid of options where he can just be able to pounce with his claws, and then if he goes ahead, catches off of it, goes ahead, launches out, and you use V2 in order to set up. And this is actually something else too, where characters or players would switch out the skills. Some of the more predominant usages back last season, a little bit of the use of F2 Akos, just because it was able to set up for LMB, right? You go ahead and get the stagger, you go ahead and you can set up a TOD if you decide to go off of it. And then if not, what we see this year is the usage of F1. Why? Well, mainly because it's an ultimate focus based skill now in terms of just being a skill alone, but it's also the knockback capabilities. You get free pistol shot, that's a free hit off of just getting a range shot. It's also a terrain advantage thing that you can actually use to your advantage, because F2 only knocks up. That's the only height that you go through. When you use F1, you can knock them back. One of the more useful skills that we've been seeing players use, not only to the solos, but also the trios, where they're just using knockbacks just so they can catch someone in a flop, or in this case scenario, just knock them away from the vicinity of a high position, whether it's a cliffside, whether it's a tower, anything of the nature where there's verticality, they want to space them out as far as possible.
Yeah, and that 30% damage reduction, correct? Like just being able to have that damage reduction as well. It's just another piece of the pie. How beautiful that F1 is on the Akos. I mean, just a player that we constantly see still in the Pro League, CDY, aka Panda Man, right? He was rocking with that F2 for a while, and he just, you know, he's always been that player that's been a little different in the Pro League. I mean, he played Tarka for so long, even when he was in the meta, when he was out of the meta. I mean, he's just been that player that, you know, has had that little sauce into him in that aspect. And, you know, with the Tarka changes, you know, might be seeing Tarka being pulled out there from CDY, but that's a topic for another day. We're locked in here for our second game. We're gonna be taking a trip to Holleroth for our second game, but first on the WBG, I mean, slow starts for game one sometimes. I mean, still in second place throughout the whole overall scoring for today, but I mean, that, you know, game one's out of the way. We have a long day still. These players are starting to turn up. We do have our second round picks here for our Holleroth Sunny time to be a great showcase in here. Just want to, you know, play out Wufong a little bit. I mean, Wufong went into the end circle with 0 eliminations, right?
Right.
He's just showcased how important it is to be able to stay alive to make it to that end game, right? That is not an easy task. Once these players have that Yang depletion timer, if you are any any in the vicinity around someone who has the anti-depletion timer, you are going to get aggressed on, and you are going to get your ultimate pop or forced out of you. And if there's any other players around, you are going to get focused, right? So Wufong being making it to the end game, there were 0 eliminations, and coming on top, there were, I believe, 2 kills on the board or 3, just getting those points up. It's just a big advantage going into the next and following games. That was a great showcasing, but nothing's changed here from game number 1. Our 2 picks, Leon's for Group A, and the Shayos for Group B. And now for Group C, Asia and Edward. We're gonna have to wait and see what they lock in. Could be Alani, could be Justina's for Asia. I was gonna be rocking with the Justina for our second game, as well as Edward. He knows who's in his group, so he is going to match. Justina is gonna be taken out of the poll. Choose and Spider have the 4th round pick here for our second game. Possibly a Syra there from Spider, and Choose on the Lonnie. I mean, not surprising at all. We are seeing those 2 characters being picked up there on the 1-1 piece, or possibly even a 2-piece there for later on in our game. Star and Wufong now in our 5th round selection. Looking to lock in a character. Probably another Lonnie there for Star. Maybe Justina for Wufong. I'm gonna have to wait and see who he's spilling. But I mean, Tomoke there for Wufong. We're starting to see a lot more Tomoke in these games, huh?
Yeah. I mean, Tomoke kind of comes out to be kind of like 1 to 2 counters against the Shayos in the game, but also just to have her into the end. There seems to be Fong and XY. There's 3 Tomoke. Okay, XY. This is XY's better options in the past, seeing how he's able to kind of work in the long sword into the motion. But one thing in the Hollow Rock is it's where he takes close quarter fights. You've seen his value in terms of using Tumult and Fedora, but having opportunity of using Tumult here when the phases are selected, whether phase 1 through 6, he has to figure out where he can slot that one in, and he's able to get him in the Hollow Rock. That's okay for him. Remember, there's potentially 8 games. Having opportunity of double picking him, or even having an opportunity of picking him down the road when it's still available, is more of a higher chance probability, especially at phase 6 from the phases 4 through 6. So having the opportunity of picking up there, good by me. Now, Ultimate's usage is a different story. He's been varying between V1 and V3. He's going to opt in for V3 this time. And it looks like the skills are kind of the same between everyone else. I mean, F1 V1 for Phosphorus for the Shayol, seeing the F1 F2 V1 for Aisha for the Justina, V2 for Star, V1 for Shisheng for Lonnie. So Star having the V2 variation, he's going to be Shisheng, who's going to be using that V1, which he's used in days past. Same as Mike, same as Spider. So he's just trying to find that value when it comes to just using it in the Romy Yang or even outside.
Moxie brought up a good point last time, and I'm kind of curious. I'm not sure if you know. Do you know if SR Spider brought his WBG coach with him to SR? Because I mean, the coach was always a staple there in Spider's kit. I mean, we'd always see him giving him knowledge, spawn points, and all this. I'm not sure if you know if he's with him as well in SR.
No, I think he went to another team, TBH.
Ooh.
I don't know if he went to I don't know if he went to WZ or if he went to one of the other teams. I have to triple check that one. But map spawns. Wow, Windy Stones? Why do we have like 4 people here, bro? That's crazy. That's crazy to me, bro. Everyone's out here into the southernmost part of the map. This is where the Woldania stash is, or Woldania Cave for you guys who know the map as well as I do. I ain't got him. No, but one thing that makes this kind of more interesting is 4 players there, man. And there's 3 forbidden seals potentially. So that's just like a no-go zone. There's no fireflies anyways. But we're going to see a Met top spawn from WZ as well as from TE. Frost is going to be solo spawning over by Pinnacle Town. We're going to see Cinnabar Valley spawn for SR Spider and OA Edward. Round 2 begins here at Hollow Rock Sunny. We are going to go into By FiveM finals with hopefully a fight between 4 players off the rip. And it's going to be Mike, Fong, and on the western side, while Verse is chilling in the center side. But this is going to be Cinnabar Valley, Spider versus Edward.
This is rough here for Spider. No weapon in hand for Spider. Edward with a common longsword, common armor as well. Catches LMB focus. Nothing Spider can really do here in the situation. Just trying to output as much damage as he can. Does see a little common armor swap on the top side. Does not go for it. Spider does manage to create the distance there with no weapon in hand. Does create a lot of distance. Picks up common halberds now. Could try to let back some of this pressure here onto Edward. And Edward now is going to go ahead and try to pick up a little bit of some of these resources as well. Spider's going to go ahead and top off that white health. Do have him with 2 common armors there, so he's gonna remember those very, very carefully if he needs them. Wufong though picking elimination onto Arano, and Fong no UG's might be going at it very, very soon.
Very soon, yeah. Into the dunes, getting the economy of the boxes to break down, especially with the under the cellar, right, where they have the gold troves and green troves. Back over to Spider versus Edward, though. Don't jump R&B to the next. It looks like Spider was able to go ahead and get it. Gets caught to slap, double slap. Can we go for a triple slap? No shot, man. We gotta be, no, we can't go for quadruple. We can't go for 5. Can we go for an R&B? We baited it out. And there's a 1.0. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. We're gonna look for a 1-2. Hold check for the 3. Gets some blue focus, and that's gonna be where the F2 gets the best. His Spider has himself an ultimate as well as Edward. He gets it, he procs it, he's out of there. Okay, he almost got caught with that dazzle, but now Spider looks to go ahead and reset. That was gonna be possibly one of the more biggest shenanigans we've seen so far, CA.
Nah. Not the 5 slaps back to back like that. That's just straight disrespectful there to SR Spider, but always Edward still trying to get some inside the mix here. Does not have no armor. Still has the ultimate online though. Catches the freeze. Let loose the R&B. Focuses off the common longsword. LB proud here for Spider on the blue spear. Does catch a lot of damage onto Edward. Edward does have the F here. Does not get cat off the freeze there off the F proc. Gets the damage off the R&B focus. And Spider now with no armor. Edward drops very low. Trying to find another armor. Let's lose another LB focus. That common armor swap was empty. And he's angry as we see him here in the cam. He is going to be letting out some of that frustration. And Spider is going to come on top here and that scrap off.
Yeah, we're switching over to the Windy Stones. We got Verse, we got Wufong, we got Mike, we got Fong. We got F1 from Mike, though, for his PM gameplay. Huge R&B potential here for a meter dumping. I don't know. Mike is looking to scare us this tree, and he drops down. He tries to go ahead for spacing back towards the loot. If he can find an armor swap, this is going to be his chance. Every one of these pillars might have a little bit of an armor or a trove. There's the LMB catch out here. Wufong looks for a parry. F1 investment comes out from his end. 2 tumultuous in this circle right now. There's 3 total in this lobby. Armor swap is good for Mike here, as we always see. He always finds a background. A Shao is also approaching to the scene as another with a Justina has ult ready, and he's making sure he can use that Hong Sword, while everyone is focusing out this Liam, who is on a low HP board.
Yeah, I mean, you want to take this Liam out, but Mike, with eyes at the back of his head, being able to read that focus attack, gets the parry there, still trying to get inside the mix. Wufong pops in that F. Nice little raw uppercut there from Mike, though. Now the Tumult ultimate invested there. It's going to come out from one of the Tumults. Wufong now trying to stay up. The Wisp does not connect off of that. He's holding blue, does not get the stagger. Now Asia as well in the back end. We have Fong and Wufong full land lose those Wisps there from the Tumult. He's like, you're my brother. I'm going to use the Wisp as well. He is going to get some damage there, and Mike is going to fall, but Verse and Fong still going at it.
Yeah, it's going to be a big fight here. There's an ultimate proc coming in from Verse. Gets a nice double wisp potential for some pistol shots. Gets his V2 proc for the first orb. Looking for the second one, but he's got to be careful. That multiple wisp is going to be spammed out here between every single one. And now Verse has to work out whether he can survive this. One scare rush up, he finds it. He can go for another one. He gets caught to wisp throws, pistol shot spam. And that's going to be a V2 orb. He gets caught by the freeze. A-Shao look for the kill steal. He's going to find it. Soba going to be picked up, and A-Shao is going to have to be careful about this. He could get caught.
Oh my god, trying to stay alive. The Justina now would have common armor. Fong drops very low. Doesn't catch the prior off the dash. But the 1-2 and A-Zhao coming in hot here now. Wufong. Last one standing. F caught in there for the Temi. The second freeze connects into the 19 meter burn. That's gonna be a lot of damage there from A-Zhao. Does not get the full damage because of the terrain. Wufong being able to stay up now. Looks like he's gonna try to get inside that zone. A-Zhao as well. Still applying the pressure onto Wufong. Wufong dropped all that common armor, purple armor I should say. Catches the prior of the LMBs. Jump LMBs ×2 into the finisher LMB there for Wufong, and that would have been insane there if Agile would have picked up that third elimination there. That would have been disgusting, but still good turn out there, doing the best he could in that situation with the 2 Tumults. And I just want to say that was toxic, right? Having the 2 Tumults there to be able to pop that ultimate for them and using the F there, that's just disgusting. But look at the scrap out here in the middle, the bottom side of the puzzle, just Frost of his Spider. We have another player, Star, as well, going at it here. This could be bad. We have a Thorny Roller kill elimination here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. 8-second cycles throughout the area of where it shows up. Star is looking to scare us these dual blades, I just say. Spider with a spear, having the broomstick active. Star gets killed out here. Mike finds elimination. No, the roller actually finished him off. Since that's tough, bro. Every single one of these times you're going to miss it, but you know, it was off camera by the grace of the spectator. Mike looks towards it though. He gets got throwing the orb, gets a little bit healing back, forces Spider for a reset, has a purple staff. Frostbus on the bottom row, having to loot up the body as Star's remains lie there. Now for Mike, he's over by the salvation podium. No one has solved the puzzle yet. This is gold weapon on the line right now for anyone to take before first realm. The problem is everyone wants to contest it, and this is one of those few case scenarios where we still haven't seen anyone conceive the Morris Blessing chest to come and spawn through here. Everyone's spawned out. It was everyone who spawned in the vicinity has finally just made their way towards this area, and without any sort of way of confirming this, if there's 3 players, it's just because there's too much pressure to drive this puzzle.
Yang tadi masuk.
Be in the background with R&B blue focus.
You know, this top side of puzzle just being a very dangerous spot. I mean, if you are you know, if you are the third party or you have a field day being to jump in those ballistas and, you know, possibly even getting free eliminations down to the players that are scrapping on the top side of the puzzle. We've seen it numerous times that these players just get third party off of that. It's a very dangerous spot to go. We do see Frostivus and Mike now scattering out here from this area. Frostivus, the aggressor, onto Mike, trying to see if he can catch the 2-time, trying to see if he can find the elimination here. Mike on the Liam, I believe already has dropped one life. So this is going to be his lifeline here. If he does get picked up here from Frostivus, could be a massive elimination here for Frostivus on the dual blades. But Mike, it's not going to make it easy. He's going to use the terrain here to make sure he does not get caught up. That's the movement there from Mike. Frostivus still applying the pressure. I believe we have another player in the back end. Might be showing up pretty soon. F caught in there from Frostivus on the Shayo. Mike, though, doesn't lose a lot of HP. Frostivus pretty much all gone off that common armor. And Mike, it's going to be a big nuisance here in this situation. He's going to run him in, probably back straight to Wufong. Arano as well. I believe the cave open, so those players are going to be contesting. We see Frostivus as well trying to take the cave here, but we have our first Roma Yang here for game number 2. Spider against OA is Edward. This is a run back here from game number 1.
Yeah, big run back. Span's going to be in the pocket of Edward, Spider with the purple staff. No special CJs either, but the gear is a difference world apart. All about the skill of the player and their units. Now there's going to be uppercut. The F1's going to be burned out from Spider for his combo breaker. Gets a little bit of that heal back for it. Looks to drop down R&B, potentially for Edward, looking for a stagger, but Edward is looking to spam the R&Bs from this fan like he's in the plat 3 lobby. It's crazy. One jump LMB to the next, one R&B to the other. Now Spider looks towards it and dropping down here for the R&B. He finds himself to worry about whether he throw the next one. Looks for a crossbear. He doesn't get it. Mike's checks it, gets caught, loses the staff. Now the F1's still available for Spider, but he loses that purple staff. Now it's in Edward's favor. Looking towards his LMB uppercut. Maybe it's 2-on-1. No, he can't 2-0. We can't do that, bro. It's gonna be the height advantage that comes out of Spider, and he gets caught to the dazzle. Now Edward might have to actually cancel ultimate to get his combo breaker here because this is gonna be a TOD right here. There's nothing that Edward can do about it, and that's gonna be the case scenario. It's gonna be a chance here for Spider to get caught with the freeze. Oh my god, double down on the freeze. The LMB, jump LMB, not gonna come out here. One bow shot in the dream. Spider's gonna go ahead for a reset, as well as Edward on the other side.
Yeah, this is a very close fight. We see the HP dropping very low. Edward's the second one to try to pop that in. He does manage to do so. Spider now holding the scare rush, does not connect off of that. Massive parry from Edward. That's going to be the elimination there for Edward, and Spider's going to fall off of that. And what a beautiful showcase in there for Edward. That crazy tilt. I mean, I've never seen the Raw dragon off the staff, so that was a little ambitious there. But, I mean, Edward still being able to stay up there. Asia against Choose here. Gets caught up here off the scare rush. Rolls, though, does not manage to catch the power. Yes, he does. Catches the repot into the 2-1-1. Big damage into the R&B. Focus there off the purple katana. And Asia, okay, I see you. He got the fundamentals here locked in here against these players. He's looking crispy. All right. It's the first time I watched Asia play, and he's looking right. We do see him winning those isolated fights in Roma Yang. That's a big thing to be able to do here in these lobbies. And he is going to secure that Vermilion's Burst Might as well. So he's going to have that full-on aggression coming out of that Roma Yang. And Mike, though, still in the mix right now. Gonna try to find more eliminations on the board with 1 on the board. Spider with that Yang depletion timer, 3 minutes and 42 seconds and counting. We have a congestion of players that are still around that cave area. We did see Frostivus in that mix. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens. Asia is gonna go right back inside the cave. He's gonna pick up more of these resources. He has the gold longsword, so potentially in that second Roma Yang, he could outburst a lot of damage if he's able to caught that prow there on the wall.
Exactly, yeah. Arano, gold weapon as well, gold fist plays. Horizontal was kind of a wild haymaker there, A-Shot. He's going to burn his combo breaker as a result towards the Forbidden Seal to make sure the Shadow has nothing to use it for. There's going to be an R&B attempt. He's looking for neutral here, big time. Every single one of these attacks is just holding out the .9 to try to make sure he can go for a stagger and try to catch Arano there. There it is. F1 combo breaker usage. Perfect. That's what A-Shot's going to look for. But he gets caught by the LMB. Next, there's the extension. FC burnout from A-Shot. He knew he had it the whole time. He just wanted to see where he was going to go with it. And Arano gets counter grappled. A-Shot looking to try to catch it again. There it is. We're going to have 10 seconds until that combo breaker is up for Arano, so he's going to have to make this one count. But once to the R&B, one jump LMB, it gets caught by the LMB again, and A-Shot goes down. Vermilions are burned. This is going to be Arano winning out his second elimination, but now counter grapple coming out here against Yashang, who is on the vicinity as one of the other Alanis in the lobby.
That's the second time I see him go for that double R&B off the longsword there. I don't know if that's more damage outburst there off of the double R&Bs from the 2-on-1. But I did see Spider go for that as well. But Chu's going at it right now on the V1, already invested here on the Lonnie. Arano might be the center of attention. Edward getting caught up, gonna eat up a little bit of damage there off that V1. He's gonna get a little bit of getting caught up ×2 there. He's gonna catch a stray. Mike though, full focus on Chu's. Chu's drops very low. Now the whole lobby pretty much is gonna be full focus in here. Balda's Chu's inside the zone, getting caught up in a grapple. But Arano invested in Shaya ultimate to try to pick up his elimination. Justina ultimate invested as well. In the back end, the freeze freeze connects there. Edward does not pick up the eliminations. It'll be Fong from downtown with a pistol shot, and that's a nice elimination and a freebie there from DRG's Fong.
Yeah, DRG Fong finding a pistol shot between all the melee attacks is actually a miracle for him to confirm the kill. So he's far, and he's going to be spacing out here, but it looks like Orano gets caught into the zone. I think we have Romyang for another 30 seconds for that buff from Vermilion's Burst Mine. It's going to be burned out here. There's going to be a kill elimination. Edward finds it against Orano. A lot of eliminations to be spread out here. There's going to be V2 from Verse to get the kill elimination against Edward. Finds his Soul Bloom, and as Verse backs off here, this is like literally a mess. It's like a potluck of kills coming out here. Woo! Every single one of these players coming out here for the yoinks, and then they just go ahead and back off like, yeah, I didn't see nothing. What are you talking about?
That is insane. I mean, Edward does fall, does pick up another elimination on the board. Now with 2, taking the trip to the Soul Ultra, so he's still inside this game. We do have 9 players still remaining. Edward with 2 eliminations, as well as Verse and Orano and Wufong. Asia with 3, Star with 2, Mike with 1, Spider and Fong with 1 as well. So the kills are pretty much spread out evenly. Our second Romyang starting to form on in. Mike trying to take this one as well. Do see him already posted up in the Romyang gates. We do have him now. The purple halberds, purple cannon in the hand as well. Nothing too crazy on the J setup, I believe. Just standard damage reduction. There, nothing too crazy. No purple, no gold. Spider in the cactus area. They got to be very careful not to get, shot there by some ranged weapons there. Attack Jays in his inventory with a damage reduction. Just full on attack here on the Syra. Wufong getting active against WBG's Burst. Burst on the Liam. Wufong on the Tumult. Purple pole sword, trying to catch any of these scare rushes. We do see Verse with a common fan. We do have a common pattern from a lot of these players, running a fan or a dagger in the back pocket for the movement. I mean, obviously the fastest scare rush in the game, just being able to scare rush around and get out of situations where you need to get just being able to scatter out. Do have him just trying to play the silent game there on the bottom side. Wufong might lose track of him. XY in the backside could be potentially moving on in. I mean, the Temis are very close to each other since the start of the game. We see how close these players are being around each other, and we saw the damage that they're able to do as well earlier again, where one Tumult pops the ultimate, the other Tumult benefits from it. I mean, that's just insane. But we're gonna have FPSDQ Star against OUG's Mike, and Star has gold nunchucks here for the second Romyang.
He does. He also has Cyan Fang, so if he goes for a 1, 2, 3, it's going to have to be surprised. Mike has himself, though, Halberds, Purple Armor, Liam playing gameplay as Chef Class is on. He's going to be looking for the RMBs, double 1, 2, making look for the cannon shot. Doesn't connect it, goes for the proc shot, doesn't have it. He's making sure the blue focuses are coming out to be anticipated for a react parry, and everything comes out for the LMBs for the stagger as well. We've seen this coming out from Mike. There it is, LMB to the RMB, uppercut. Not going to come out here with a combo breaker. Star looks for the 1, 2, holds for the parry, but doesn't go ahead and activate. Oh, now it comes out. Mike is going to be making sure the counter. There's that 1, 2, 3 talking about. There's the goalie stance, throws it, gets tap dodge rolled. Mike still has 2 orbs to go here, making sure to see where Star commits in his action. There's going to be with the F dash. He is anticipating the orbs to come out here. This is big brain play from Mike. There's going to be Sustain coming out. There's another setup here. It's going to be 1, 2. The 1 orb is down. The second one might be confirmed due to this Benthic not going to come through here for the horizontal. Might be Mike's chance here to pick up that last orb here, C8.
Yeah, he could catch the elimination and he catches the F, but he does not. He misses now the 1, 2 there from Star. F caught in there from Mike. Catches the pry off of this into the 1 point from the halberds. Big damage off of this. He's going to be able to even out the health. It comes in off of both players. And now all healths are even for both players. But the R&B finisher there from Star. And Mike is going to fall off of that. Asia and Orano going at it. Orano now just popping that ultimate. Justina's going to match it this time around. Gold long sword in hand here for Asia. Getting caught up there for the first F there from the ultimate. Now, ooh, the ice burst off the B1. I don't know what's called specifically, but that's the new change there for the Justina. I know that's that new right there for the Justina and Asia trying to stay up here on the Justina. We do have another freeze connecting there for Asia, trying to weave around, gets caught up, uses the F to avoid the pressure there from the LMB, and now all ults are gone pretty much for both of these players, and it's going to be a little bit of scatter here for Orano and Asia.
Yeah, it's a different story right now for Asia, considering that he has no more ultimate dashes to come through, but there is no more shy ultimate. There's a nice parry off of that. And use the combo breaker is going to be used. Catches RMB, uppercut, grapple, extension into the carousel, into the wall. Orano goes down with a 1.0 release, and Asia just showing his predominance inside Romyang. He said, don't mess with me with my long sword. Gold long sword. Got gold fist blades, gold halberds, dragon like might, blistering edge, and a great swords in the chest, but he can make that into a pole sword or the grappling hammer. He's got 4 eliminations on the Justina gameplay, y'all. He's actually killing it this round.
Hey, Asia feeling himself. Like, he know he's saucy with it. Asia 4 on the board. Looking very nice right here for our second game of the day. But OUG's Mike not really looking too hot. does have that Yang depletion timer on his back. 4 minutes and counting, getting aggressed on here from FPXZQ Star. And Star with a gold dual blades in hand, be able to outpress a lot of damage here onto Mike. And this is, you know, we saw him earlier, Mike using this terrain here against Frostovitz, and now against Star to be able to continue the kiting there off the pressure that he's getting thrown out. But Mike now going to be forced to take the scrap off. R&B makes there for the purple halberds in hand here from Mike. Since the R&B focus gets the damage there onto Star, the musket shot does not connect there for Star. And now the F caught in here for the Liam, trying to see if he can scatter out here from the situation, trying to ice off some of the pressure. But Star full throttle in, wants to see if he can find to pick up this elimination. We do have Mike now running towards the backside, does manage to find a little bit of terrain towards Plume Castle, can be able to cut out the line of sight as well. And Star possibly loses track of him, tries to shoot for the bell, no information call for that, and it looks like it might be a little bit of scatter here, and Mike does manage to ice off the pressure for the time being.
That's right, yeah, and Star has himself a chance here to just conserve his time with the buff, as well as just making sure whether or not he finds himself to just go for it. But at the same time, Mike is one of the Romaine depletionists, so if he looks to fight this out, he knows exactly who he fought, which is a Liam, so he knows that that person might be a weakened target. And now comes down towards Arano over to Cinnabar Valley, 3 minutes and 40 seconds for his Romaine depletion, trying to find something in the chest as long as he could. He's going to be cutting through Cinnabar Valley here, making sure whether or not he can go for the bell pathing, and he might go to the northeast section, but at the same time, he's looking for any stragglers just before he can go inside one of the hearts of the lobby, which is going to be Glass. But he finds out Fong. Well, he thought he found Fong. He heard something. He heard a little, he heard a shuffle in the distance, slides to the left. Every R&B 1, 2, 3 comes out here for Arano. For Fong, it's just going to be another Tuesday, because with Fong having to mulch, all he has to do is wait this one out here as he invests his depth ability.
This is the thing about Fong. I mean, he's been doing this for a very long time, right? I mean, we don't really see him inside a mix like that. He is more of a conservative player, more of that third partier, being able to pick up those easy eliminations on the board. I mean, you saw him getting caught up by 1-2 and quickly scatters on out. He is off the scene, right? He does not want any of that smoke. He wants to make it to the end game. We saw the success Fong had being able to make it to the end game. And I mean, that's what Fong pretty much strives for every single game, being able to get those points at the end game, try to snag up those eliminations. But Mike still going at it with a minute 45. Time is ticking. Liam ultimate investor here from Mike. Star might be the one getting a lot of pressure here from Mike. We do have him using the bottom side of Plume Castle to try to ice off this pressure, but Mike full throttling in onto Star, getting caught up. The V2 does not connect. That's a nice little iframe there from Star off the F there from Lalani, but Star now drops very low in the backside. The V2 does connect, but onto the other player is gonna throw him right at him, and Mike's gonna pick an elimination onto Star. Does manage to cleanse, and Mike being able to stay here for game number 2.
That gold armor is somewhere in the midst of that body, so whether or not he wants to go back for that, it's going to be a risk and a half. But everyone's fighting out here towards this area over by the Achilles Gate. Looks like XY is going to be Edward, it's going to be Wufong. Wufong with no armor, Arano and DRG Fong actually looking for him as it's mulch in the lobby. There's going to be the ultimate coming out to be invested here. There's going to be a horizontal with a fan, and there's going to be pistol shots, whisk throws, everything.
Oh my god.
Chayo ultimate comes out to be invested. No stackers to come out from those whisk throws. Oh my god. I can't, bro. Arano's trying to live for his life, and he is going to get out of there, which is a sliver of health. But he's got 100 seconds left to go off of this. 1-2s, again with the double RMBs. We've seen that twice fold so far for Arano. Now he's going to be going ahead, looking for the bow shot, but into the Moonbane. Could be dire straits because the Spear Will is a White Tiger's prowess. So for anyone making their way towards that, after this Moonbane ends, they're going to make sure they can get that buff.
Wow. Crazy sequence right there. I mean, we've seen XY and Wufong just playing around each other on the Tomok. I mean, we saw the pressure there. I mean, if you were probably any other character, you probably wouldn't have survived there if you were not on the shot. Just being able to get caught up with there with those whiz back to back. It's just so much pressure. We've seen it from the beginning of this game that the Tomoks are pretty much playing very near each other. But Arano with 57 seconds and counting to try to cleanse out that Yang depletion timer at XY, the first one in to try to get some damage onto Arano. Scare Rush connects here for Arano, the 1-2 there into the jump LMB, putting up a lot of damage onto XY, pretty much almost knocking off all that purple armor. We do see a wisp getting thrown down there from downtown. XY with a nice little bow shot there in the backside. Arano getting full focus by the whole lobby now. Do have XY being able to take a quick little reset in 30 seconds and counting. He's gonna have to see he can try to get someone focused, try to get an elimination on the board, but it does not look very too hot for him right now. The Temi F called in, the Wisp connects, Spawn with the damage there onto Arano into the 1-2, but XY with the kill still. Another fellow Tomok being able to pick up the elimination, and Arano's gonna fall here.
That was a yoink of the century, bro. Another one for the list. And that's going to be an ultimate cast from Fong into the kill his gate. He's going to get a reset off of this versus going to look to flank around and gets no orb confirmation. He has one more. He does not need it to use it, so he's going to cancel it. That way he has a combo breaker. He got the white Tekker's brow off, and he got all the weaponry that comes out of it. Mike, on the other hand, stacked as all can be. Gold Nunny's gold armor as a Liam. He's going to be one of the few into the lobby, and there isn't, you know, with the opportunity of fighting out the Tumultuous, it's going to be a dire straight mode because remember, Tumultuous don't, you know, they can use their own, you know, combatants' ultimates to their advantage, other Temis. So if with V3, they reset the Wisp, they can spam out and try to go for a last hit confirmation. That's the most important part about it. Now for Verse right now, playing the only other Liam with Mike, it's going to be kind of a moment between two, you know, a bonding moment, if you will. This how it comes down between the two Temis, two Liams in the lobby. So anyone kind of worked out and seeing the A shot with the Justina, they're going to be going for it. There's going to be a chance of seeing the Jade. So Heartstopper kick, Arctic Slash Blade, I believe a Skyforce, Juggernaut level 2, Sap Jade on Mike. He is stacked as can be, has dual blades that are gold rarity and gold nunnies that we saw earlier. He's got 19 grapples, 4 healing berries, 9 armor patterns. He's good. He's Gucci. As long as he doesn't have to be forced out to burn out his supplies over and over and over because he gets caught by chip damage, or rather finding bodies to go ahead and resupply. It's going to be up to him to finding those opportunities out.
I mean, you see Mike peep though. He sees what the issue is here in this lobby right now. He's full on aggressing the Tomog as well as Verse. They know they have to try to take out one or two of these Tomogs. I mean, they are just full running this whole lobby. They're seeing it time and time again. We have another ult invested, I believe, from another Tomog. Fong being able to catch the Wisp off of this alone. I mean, Mike's still in the mix there against XY in the back end. The Tumultuous just being a big problem here for game number 2, and it's 3 of them on the field, not just 2, opposed to the only 2 Liams on the field currently. Fong playing the high ground, XY towards the middle to low ground. Verse though still applying the pressure there onto XY. Mike going up on top. These players know they are both in sync, knowing Tumultuous got to go. They have to go, and they have to go as soon as possible. XY calling the F there against Verse, but a Verse there with a grapple check there onto XY. We do see him trying to scatter off from the situation. The pressure's getting iced out by the opposing Temi in the top side. Now, Verse coming right back in. Lots of damage there on the bottom side. Mike as well on the backside onto Fong. And Fong eats up a lot of damage. Getting got up in the corner. This could be back here for Fong. Gets caught up with the RB and Ming. So 1, 2, 3 as well. And Verse there with elimination onto DRG's Fong. And that's one Temi gone here from game number 2. And that's a nice little showcasing there from WBG's Verse and OUG's Mike.
Yeah, Future Aggression reminds me of Spider. It's like the same team beforehand. Who's crazy? No, but one thing that makes it happen is that Verse is getting that, you know, getting the opportunity of killing out one of the 3 Temis into the end game circle. Now there's only 2 left. He's finding himself fire target lock. He has a Cab Bloom, has a you know, that Cyan Fang that we saw earlier. If he finds a crafting hammer, he can make this into dual blades, and that is a predominant hold blue weapon that goes through and setting up combos, LB uppercut into the extensions, and there's so much verticality on the slope of this end game circle that he could just go ahead and extend it with bow shots if he needs to. Wu Fong though has himself pistols ready with a pole sword. I'm not mistaken for whether or not he has a blistering edge. We're gonna have to double check and see about that later on. We're looking for a jump LB for a stone form so he can mitigate this from the pressure that Mike is putting up with the halberds or with the dual blades, making sure you hold horizontal against those halberds that Verse is having on hand. There's the RB confirmed 1-2s, making sure you can catch for LMB. There's gonna be the ultimate proc as Wu Fong might be caught into another 1-2-3-1 RB here. He avoids it by his sliver of help at 8-5 kill eliminations. Justina in the lobby, 1 of 2, by the way, in this game.
Wow. Hey. Hey. Mike said, I forget, but I don't forget. And he's on it. You know, that early game was not too good. It was not too good against the Liams, and they're getting caught up now here. The Tomoxi in the end circles. I mean, Mike is just continuing to apply the pressure onto the Temis, making sure that he's able to take out that pressure there from the Tomoxi. I mean, especially in the end game, you don't want those ultimates being called out back to back to back. So you know, they took one out, they took the second one out, and now only one remains. Gonna be XY, the lone Tomoxi here for this game. Spider still in the mix here on the Syra, the lone Syra here for this game. Mike and Verse still playing that bottom side, making sure they control the aggression here of this game, and they have thus far here into this end game. Ajao though being able to snag up that elimination with 5 on the board. Beautiful showcasing here from the rookie. I mean, what a great game too so far. I mean, if he's able to pick up more eliminations and, you know, possibly the MVP, that would drastically pin him up here in the first place, already in 3rd place with 13.1. So needless to say, Alliance is Ajao. Nice little showcasing here for him. Gold halberds in hand. He's gonna control the bottom side of this end circle. XY the top side on the Tumult. Is that Overcomer? Looks like Overcomer to me.
No. Universal Slash.
Oh, Universal Slash. Okay. But I mean, Oh, Phantom set. I mean, we know how annoying that can be.
That can be annoying, dude. The grapple goes to like left field center.
Yeah.
Literally can't even discern it. What's going to be tough though for A-Shao is just, he's not the only Justina in the game, but one thing that is that between both of them, it's going to be who can burn the ultimate with which Justina first, and then it's going to be left by himself. He has a great Jade to work in his endgame circle with the Justina dashes. If you can confirm it with a Dragon like Might, it's just, you know, it's a high risk, high reward maneuver, right? Dragon like Might, blue focus throughout the whole duration. Someone could just jump parry and telegraph for the position of it. Boom, you're done. And everything comes out to A-Shao where he might have to cancel early. Like he just burned his F2 because of the Octa / Blade coming up from Mike. Now it's up to whether or not anyone else in the lobby comes out to this last 70 seconds of this game and catching out the Justinas, the Syra, who knows? But the Liams, they're still in the game. They can still yoink people out. It is an opportunity right now for Verse or Mike.
Yeah, we're gonna see it pretty soon. We do have our zone 7 spreading in 10 seconds. Ingesting the players. It's gonna get aggressive very soon. Cannon shots flying in there from Verse. Gold cannon in hand there from WBG's Verse on the Liam. XY trying to lay down some pressure there. The musket shot. Players just holding blue, waiting for that zone to completely close. I mean, this is gonna be a scrap off. It's gonna be a duel for everybody. Who's gonna be able to come on top here? Edward with 2, Verse with 3, Asia with 5, Mike with 2, Spider with 1, as well as XY. And here we go. The last and final moments of game number 2. Who are we gonna give it to, Saverio? Who are we gonna give this end game to?
Spider might be one of the first ones eliminated here, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be coming out to A-Shao if he uses his ultimate defensively here in the moment, because everyone's going to be looking at the Tumult Circle. There's the first one coming out here. Spider catches his ultimate to be used early on. There's going to be 18 seconds of this. There's still 20 seconds left in the game. Spider getting a lot of damage. Syra having those changes done to her health bar in the zone. She's going to shoot out, but there's going to be a level 2 laser beam coming out, and he gets a last hit confirmation on XY. That's big, but he gets 1, goes down for 2. There's going to be a Mike. And there's going to be a chance here for everyone to look for the last hit confirmations. 1, 2, 3. And it looks like Edward gets 3 eliminations, maybe even potentially cutting out here for the multiplier. But we still have to determine these numbers, man, because so much happened in the span of 5 seconds. Everyone was caught out by 1 dazzle by Spider, but it might seem that A-Shao caught his MVP with the amount of eliminations at in-game circle for his squad. We're waiting the results. I'm waiting the results. Edward's waiting the results. He's the one, baby. He's the one who gets second MVP back-to-back game.
Back-to-back there for Edward. Juan Leon coming in hot here for a second game. I mean, from that day one, I saw how polished he was. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I saw how he was game, and I was like, yo, Edward is looking crispy. He's looking like a whole different demon here for this season. He put in that work, and you clearly see it here for the first bi-weekly of the 2025 season. He's coming up on top here. Back-to-back MVPs, getting closer to that 28-point threshold to be able to qualify to take the bi-weekly final 1 home. I mean, just a beautiful game there for Edward. But wow, what a game 2 has been here in the Hall of Rock. Saw a very toxic sequence there with the Tomos from XY, Wu Fong, and Fong. I mean, just how strong it was to the early to mid game, and even in the end game, if you know Mike and Verse weren't the ones applying the pressure onto the Tomos, that could have been a big problem for the whole lobby. But Mike, that's what makes him a championship caliber of a player. Being able to read out those situations, being able to quickly adjust to know what he needs to do to come up on top. And I mean, Verse as well, like I mentioned earlier, what a beautiful pickup there from WBG, picking up Verse. Knowing the same track, he knows these Tomokes were a problem there in the end circle. He's seen it from the early game, that crazy scrap off on the top side of the map. That was not fun for anybody. Getting recaught by the Wisp ×3 just by 2 Tomokes. I mean, that is not a pleasant time to have there. And, you know, being able to, you know, control the situation like Mike and Verse were doing. I mean, what else can we say? That was just beautiful.
Yeah, and then one thing that comes out is like all the sequence that happened out there was also working out between the Liams, right? The Liams were trying to get themselves the orbs. They're trying to throw out the targets, just trying to catch anyone in the soft target area. But now the question is, how many players told to mulch in game 2? Is it A1, B2, C3, or D4? I mentioned the number of this in the very beginning when we did in the pick ban phase. I made a prediction in chat about it, just to make sure you guys are keeping track about like how many players were in there. But this is going to be an answer on Twitch for you guys. Anyone on the YouTube chat, I know you gamers are out there. I know my South Americans out there. I see you guys. But everything comes out for the Twitch gamers, so make sure you guys go ahead, find your account, making sure that the narakabladepoint channel, they're going to reply towards you, and just making sure you can get your reward. But we're going to have the standings coming out here from this past game. 6.6 for Edward as he got first place. He got the multiplier. He got 3 eliminations. Second place given to A-Shao, 5 kills, but he got killed so early on. He wasn't able to catch that 1.5 multiplier, 1.5 placement points or the 2. And by being knocking down that early on, 6 points, still a massive amount of points to be earned out in this bi-weekly finals. 5 points for Mike, Spider with 4.5 as well as with Verse, Star with 3 as well as XY from ASC, T's Wufong with 2.5, the WZ's Arana with 2.5, 1.5 for Fong, Jishang though, and start with his 0 eliminations. I can't believe it. But this is going to be where the games come out for Frostbus, I should say. He's going to be having himself in 11th place with DRG Fong in 12th place. XY is in 10th place with 8.8. Dao Shishang with 9th place and 9.1. 10.9 for SR with SR Spider in 8th. FPX Star in 7th with the same exact score. Most likely have a little bit more damage for him or kills in the tiebreaker scenario for points. Wufong though in 6th place with 11.8. 12.2 for WZ Zarano. OUG's Mike's in 4th with 12.7. 13.1 for Alliance's A-Shao. 14.4 in 2nd place for WBG's Verse. OA's Edward once again by the way, 19.5 first place. He needs 9 points. He's, if you want to be exactamento, you get an 8.5 points, and then after that he is good to go to try to earn himself an MVP and winning out this week for the bi-weekly finals, and is tacking up another score on the board for him for being one of the players to make it through for the spring season in 2025. But we're gonna get some quotes and highlights brought to you by China Unicom. Bump it, Gamers United.
We're back with the Gamers United. SR Spider though. It's 08 Edward. This was the beginning of the game. I mean, this was what, 5 slaps back to back from Edward onto Spider. I mean, he was bad at that. He was very frustrated. He almost had the elimination. And this was Agile here, snagging the elimination onto Verge. Takes out Wufong as well, I believe, here in this situation. Oh, it was Fong. R&B focuser for the extra damage. Catches another player lacking. Knows it's going to be Fong. With another dash, R&B Minx. And now he almost was super close to taking out Wufong. But he does get taken out here in this situation. And this was odd odds against him. Still takes Sue in this situation. Does not come on top at the end, but does manage to get a lot of damage put in there and eliminations. A-Shao here in the corridor with a big carousel combo into the R&B finisher there onto Arano. And, he was feeling himself. He was like, yeah, that's me. That's me.
I'm that guy. I'm him. It's kind of crazy seeing how he's doing now this day, and as well seeing how Edwards, for this stuff. In general, looking at this man, double MVP. Yep. So for him to come through here as a Justina MVP, he's gonna have himself, pretty much, one less, sweat on his brow to make sure that he doesn't have to worry about where he's placing so far. We still have more style midday. That's where this situation might end up later on. Skyforce is one of his Jades. He gets a kill, full armor reset. That works on the M game circles too, just to chip away at damage if he gets caught out. Rampage though, in the aerial run, he had a fan, he had a longsword, he had a staff. That was his 3 most used weapons. We saw the fight in the early game with him against Spider in terms of the Cinnabar Valley. The shenanigans that came through with the slab. I'm kind of curious. That's not even the top 3 of his weapon selection. You know what I'm saying? Because this man threw 5 slabs in front of Spider. Spider was not having it. The armor slot wasn't going to be available for him because they're all empty. But at the end of the day, showcased. For Kabloom as well, if he was able to find the dual blades, he would have worked with Kabloom. I know that for certain, just because the opportunity for Kabloom to work itself just for spacing, but also for capturing targets in the blue focus in range, and you're moving with it. And it also feels like, even though you notice certain animation changes with certain skill Jades to be in your play, like Blistering Edge or Phoenix Blast, it always feels like Kabloom just feels like there's something's off about that guy. He's holding LMB and he's moving. Well, why is he doing that? And so for some things that come out for people with Kabloom, they'll come out and then surprise. But spoiler alert, when the new weapons coming in line, throwing knives, man.
Oh, nice.
A little bit of sneak. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's not involved with the MVPO just yet, but just for you guys for the future, if you guys are playing in the current live service patch, we have a patch this Monday that's going to be coming live. But just like how we're throwing those knives, we're going to throw ourselves to break. How I did that clean as clean as a cloud in the sky. We're going to see you guys back here for round 3 for bi-weekly finals. And we're back, guys. We're back here for the round 3 for the bi-weekly finals. Suspenders are off, you know, because things are about to come out a little bit wild out here. I'm setting up the timeline. We have a lot of things to talk about in terms of what to review in the past 2 games. One thing that makes it seem is in the first game, right, for the Fireflies' involvement with the Midoriya morning dew, or for midnight, I should say, we saw an opportunity of seeing, you know, Lonnie's go crazy into the game. And then in the last game, we saw the Tumultuous go crazy, but Justina comes out on top. We saw gameplay from Alliance to A-Shao making his way star-studded, as I might say. But Edward has been making double MVP knockbacks for the scoreboard. So for him to actually have himself in the lead of everybody else in the lobby so far, we still have to see what's going to happen in game 3. Options on the table right now for the phase selections for these guys, as we can also see how opportunities to have outlier choices can be made, especially starting off in phase 2. Phase 1 has always been Liam. You know, phase 2 has been the least, you know, choice to be optioned out, where it comes to like where people are more opted to use in their comfort picks for later on. They can conserve the usage. Just like I said, once we reach into potentially round 7 or 8, the phasing gets, you know, thrown around, you know, gets mixed and matched between the people who have reached match point and those who haven't.
Yes. The Liams are usually a lot of these players' strong suit character, right? I mean, it's obviously why it's the Group A. We thus far have not had a Liam MVP into these first 2 games of the day. But you know, it's 2 games down. Game number 3, players are starting to load on up for our 3rd game of the night. I mean, this is where you really have to start turning up, right? You have your first 2 games out of the way. First game is usually the warm-up game for a lot of players. Game 2, you start seeing who has, you know, possibly the best fitting for the rest of the games. But you know, game number 3, you really have to turn it up a notch. You know, first 2 games could go however way, right? But I mean, we had a beautiful showcase in back-to-back from Edward, being able to take those MVPs home. He's looking pristine right now. Really good showcase. And now into our game number 2, A-Shao starting to heat things up as well, making sure that he's being able to take this chip home. If possible, if he can continue his run, being able to play it out the way he has playing for that 2nd game. But now it's just time will tell how things are going to go. Mike had a very slow game for game number 1. He's on the board for game number 2. Had a very good showcase in there, being able to control the whole battlefield in that end circle with the Tumultuous, just being able to run things down completely, playing off each other throughout the whole game. I mean, we saw from start to finish the Temis just being very, very strong as a unit. You know, it's the name of the game, right? I mean, you can call it what you want. I remember in the beginning, a lot of people saw it very controversial, but I mean, it's smart. It's smart, and you're out here to win tournaments, and you're out here to take the chip home for your squads. But look at this, Edward in the area, not being able to play the video game at all here on the Justina. Flies, slow falls all the way down, pops the F to stay safe. Pops that Justina ultimate, double dashes in, catches the damage off the R&B, gets caught up on the V2 there from Burst, gets slammed down there to one of those players, manages to stay up, just resetting those Fs. Now the last one standing, being able to secure the MVP there. I mean, he said, you want to keep me in the ball? I'll be safe in here. I'll take storm damage, but I'm not going to take no damage from anybody else. Exactly. And it worked out perfectly for him right there.
Exactly. And also he even used the aspect of the wall, right? Like everyone is focused on the ground level. Syra is working her magic there. We saw that from Spider. But he was up on top. If no one's looking up top, you know, that's an opportunity just to, you know, I mean, out of sight, out of mind. And then once he came down, got caught in the orb, boom. We're not taking chip damage and all that stuff. We just go for ultimate last hit confirmations, boom, bam, bam. Poison Splash was being spread around by that point. It was already too late, so he was able to catch his last hit confirmations, at least to 1 target. And then after that, you know, just comes out for first place. And it's actually kind of funny too, because it's Mulches. I was thinking about this. In the English translation of the area that we saw the fights happening in the beginning, it's called Windy Stones. And it's Mulches, you know, do I need to digress that? Forcing out the Mulches at one area, though, makes it where, you know, they're stronger, right? Because we've seen how oppressive that V3 reset comes out to make him. That's why when I saw XY ringing out the V1, I was like, this is interesting, because I would assume the reason he bought V1 is to keep himself defensively. But the problem is there's certain weapons that can bypass the wall. Yeah. Like the staff or the spear, if you're able to get that double charge ping for the Dragon Slayer, or for the staff, when you start kicking off of it, it's like a stanchion, like kicking in. You actually bypass through the wall. You may not get constant, you may lose your stamina, you might get the stamina depletion and all, but you would also be able to walk through the wall without any sort of, you know, animation lock. So for that creates issues. So V3, there's more tumultuous in the lobby. That benefits all. You may not be able to use your combo breaker as soon as you might hope for because you're already resetting the wisp, but that's just pressure. That's just control. That's animation control. That's one of the strongest CCs in the game. So to have the detached martial art from Puck from Jades, but from characters like Shio Lockdown, as long as no one throws a blue focus in their direction, or any staggers, I should say, for any target, they'll end up going ahead and having just a straight up, knockdown for the timer.
Yeah, I mean, and even at that, we see how strong Temi can be in these games as well. Just how good the V3 re-wisp can apply with even ranged weapons, right? Being able to catch someone in the wisp. If you're on the outer of your wall, you just pop a shot in, reset wisp, pop a shot in, reset wisp. I mean, it's just overall for me personally, I think the V3 is better. But I mean, we saw it there. The Temis with the V3s putting up a lot of damage, and it's kind of rare to see 3 Tomokes in the lobby like that. I don't even remember the last time I saw 3 Temis on the field being played out. But I mean, that's only game number 2. Game number 3 potentially of 8 games tonight, depending if any of these players take an MVP homes, if they take the 28-point threshold. I mean, this could be a long night, and those hero points are starting to tick now with our 3rd game locked and loaded. Our first group is going to be Ajon and Edward, two strongest players, I would say, in our 2nd game. Edward with a beautiful showcases thus far. I mean, throughout game 1 and 2, super locked in, super composed, looking like a whole different demon here in the server, just playing beautiful Naraka in and out. We're gonna have to wait and see how it responds here for our 3rd game of the day. I mean, Morris Isle, the home of everybody. That's where everybody started playing. Obviously Group A, first round selections already going towards that Liam pick as always. For our 2nd round selection, we do have SR Spider already locking in that Shayol.
Ini yang ketiga nih.
Choose as well, locking in that Shayol. It's gonna be a double pick there for the Liams and the Shayol. So the characters are gonna be locked out for our 3rd game of the day. Star, Wufong, seeing what they're going to be playing out. Wufong, possibly the first one picking. We're going to have to wait to see what he picks. But XY, right? XY, when he first got into the league, I mean, I saw beautiful fundamentals from XY. Macro, I mean, just has it all, right? Hasn't really been overperforming like he wants to. I know he has the capability of doing so. So, I would love to see him turn up here for our 3rd game, being able to showcase more of his skill, because I know I've seen it, especially with his extensions of combos. I remember he played Temi very, very well. He had a lot of extensions with Tomoke. Now on the Lani, I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing that V2. Justina's Alani's both
lawan bot ya
susah ya. This is looking like a full-on 2-2-2 split throughout the whole characters. I mean, we're to our 2nd to last pick, and it's the Syra pick. So now our last round selection, it's going to be a little bit of a mix-up there with a Tomoke there for Frostivus. Valda for Arano. Is that super surprising of Valda? I mean, Valda's super strong.
Yeah, she is strong. The thing is that just like Syra, they both got changes to their temporary HP shield, right? They can't out-sustain the zones as much as they used to before. But seeing her in here, it wouldn't be surprising as much as because it is going to be 8 rounds potentially, so they have to find some picks that they won't burn out so soon, right? So for having him choose out Valda, comfortability comes out of it. 18-second ult, 3 spears. Capturing somebody like a Syra though is going to be his opportunity for capturing her, but also she's going to have to worry about Liam's, right? Because let's say she does have ultimate active. If Liam doesn't preemptive ultimate, my man could go ahead and just throw her the orb when she's trying to go for a blue focus. They can tap dodge it, but then it could be a neutral stance, and he can still wait it out later on. But skill selection.
Malah punya gua kemarin,
V2 for the
malah
Liams,
itunya plastik.
Coming up from both Edward and from OA and Alliance
yang kakinya itu.
has V1 for the Lani. It's gonna be interesting. Fong has V2 for the Lani. And that looks to be the only variation between 2 different skills for all the players on the board. I'm looking at everyone else scanning out. Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. For this moment, though, remember, Morris, midday, everyone loves to see it. Celestia could be a potential
Itu
spawn.
buat ini aja deh apa, ngeredam noise dari napas lu.
Players to come through. I think that's possibly where Arana would
Biar
have
nggak
success, especially just because he cannot sustain throughout the chip and he gets caught.
Iya, jadi suara itu misalkan lu dekat nggak kedengaran kayak gitu. Gua lepas udah lama tuh dimainin bocil, mainin anakku. Ditarik-tariknya.
That's where we're going to be spawning in here, CA, as round 3 commences.
Yeah, game number 3.
Tapi udah lama itu gua lepas.
For our 3rd game of the night, players are very congested here. I mean, non-stop scrap-offs. I mean, we saw the aggression throughout our first 2 games as well. These players are getting active, try to pick up those eliminations before that first Rumble Yang, try to scale up as well. Frostivus, the lone wolf on the top side of the map there on Temple, to be able to rotate in there for a potential third party to pick up some of those eliminations happening right below him. I mean, he's obviously going to see the congestion of players right below him. Wow, I mean, it's going to be a big aggression here off rip here for our 3rd game. I mean, just what else can we ask for here, Saweria? I mean,
a lot, because I could see a TOD. You know, I'm looking for a one. I'm looking for 1500 HP going down to 0. But that's probably not going to happen here just so yet. First place coming out here for the prizes game for each fight.
Kayaknya klik kanan dah. Kalau nggak klik kanan, antara itu klik kanan apa klik kiri gitu. Ternyata yang mau lo pakai itu apa yang mau lo pecah itu pakai dulu. Taruh di nomor 1. Di nomor 1.
Purple longsword, bro.
Baru hammernya kalau nggak klik kanan klik kiri. Itu cara gunanya.
Armor pickup, crazy versus loses all his armor for 1 army.
Wow.
And there we go. You start hunting around for a loot spawn, but there's no armor.
Masih pengen belajar mereka cara lari mereka tuh lo cepet banget anjir.
Nope, he's gonna be looking to try to kite this building out. We've seen this time and time again, especially this building, surprisingly. 1-2s again, no burnout from spiders.
Iya, bukan pakai sip doang itu. Mereka tuh sambil skill, sambil ini gitu loh. Sambil ngedras.
Sambil second engraving to come out, but that's a mind game.
Dicampur-campur.
You know how many players kind of used it, spamming it. We saw
Jadi laju banget.
But more importantly, just seeing in the early game, that's kind of a threat. That's an early game position that puts him at an advantage. Now Verse has to look towards just trying to find an armor swap.
I mean, Fawn takes out Edward. I mean, that could knock off a lot of that momentum that he had going into these games. I mean, let's check. I just want to talk about Verse for a second here. I mean, Verse has been just playing this perfectly, right? He's isolating off the pressure, still gets caught up. But still, he wasn't a disadvantage throughout the whole time. I mean, he's going against a purple longsword against Spider. He was able to ice off a lot of the pressure. He caught Prowl 3 times in that situation, applying a lot of the damage. Unfortunately enough, it was not enough for him. But I mean, he did a lot of damage there onto Spider. There was a potential third party right there. Spider probably could have gotten caught up there, third party right now, we have Choose in the mix against H-Down and XY. So that's DRG's Fong. But this is a playground here for a lot of these players here in that middle side. Oh, the temple there in Celestia. But Wufong going at it against Spider.
Iya, dia sambil skill juga.
It's gonna be an elimination here for Wufong. He's able to do it here with the blue nunchucks. And a beautiful showcase here for T's Wufong. Now showing up with 2 kills on the board in an early start here for game number 3.
Happened
sama-sama ngejar.
TOD happened. My man was like 1-2, boom, bam, da. You know, he was going through the dance. He's going through the schmooze. XY and Celestia though. Blue armor, blue longsword, going up to Shang, who actually burned out his ultimate, so it's going to be a disadvantage for him at least for right now. But the chasing time in terms of the Immortal Temple, one of the highlights of this the series in terms of MVPL.
Ngesot gitu nggak napak tanah gitu
kakinya. To avoid your targets that are chasing down. We're going towards the Artisan's Grove where Edward is actually looking to economy spawn this in terms of getting all the gold. But we also see a target between Star, and he finds Star, and he's like, hey, what are you doing here, dog? He's his ultimate ready. So Edward has first kill, one elimination on the board. Star doesn't have ultimate ready because he doesn't have that soul bloom pickup, right? So now it's up to Edward making sure if he can get this kill that he invests it pretty fast. Because when it comes down to the shop, he can also use
dia jalan tuh
of just getting the money from this as a
betul-betul nggak napak tanah kakinya. Tuh.
Yeah, Star now.
Anjir.
Doesn't get caught up in the situation. Not really scaled at all. Weapon and armor department.
Melesat gitu loh.
Let's get that ult online, but still trying to scale up. Mike as well. We do see him in the zone. Snags up blue armor, blue dagger in hand here for OUG's Mike. Autos Choose.
Ada senjata baru tuh, Robi.
At it here in Celestia.
Belum nemu gua, tapi ada sudah ininya videonya.
Make sure you don't play under that sign.
Bukan apa kayak belati gitu loh.
There's very dangerous spot, but he does manage to stay up here in the situation. Scare rush Clink there. XY trying to apply the pressure here on the
belati tapi 2 biji kiri kanan.
Choose does have the armor advantage, but the pressure XY is applying right now. It's gonna be bad hit for Choose. The F is on cooldown now, and XY is gonna continue the aggression onto Choose. But this is a very tricky terrain. The top side of Celestia. DRG's Fong starting to move into the party as well. This is where you got to be real careful. Bell might be spawning up pretty soon. Not sure if XY has a range rate, but it hit it. Looks like he's going to go straight visuals here on to Choose. We do have Fong as well, trying to get a piece of this action on the Lonnie. So this could be very, very bad here for Bada's Choose. He's trying to see if he can go back inside that middle temple, but it's going to be covered by the zone pretty close or pretty soon.
Yeah, he's taking the alleyway to make sure he can go right back towards the Zero. Gets caught.
Anjir, ditampar aja.
Nice slap coming out from XY to throw out the
Tampol.
misinterpretation of the blue focus. Now to Shang, he looks for the LMBs. 1-2 R&B. Scare rush is good, but gets caught in the clink. Jump LMB gets caught in the uppercut. At the point of reposition. Nice restand, brother. But now he gets caught by the staff. Now the ultimate comes out. Who's gonna get this elimination coming out here to see it?
Oh my god, I think XY is gonna be able to come out on top here. He does have the O online here against Choose, and it's gonna be XY with the B1 Lonnie there. Just not got the elimination. Fong is gonna get the Soul Bloom, throws back the ball, be like, yo, watch out. I need to get out of here, but you can try to see if I can
jauhnya sudah zona itu, coy.
And XY is gonna be able to
mereka
scatter out here.
bertarung di luar zona gitu loh.
Kill early on, and XY now with 1 kill on the board. Starting to show his here in these games. Edward trying to buy up some resources. Purple longsword in hand here for Edward. I mean, looking to try to take this first round.
Ultinya Lane itu yang terbang.
Have him buying the Moonbane, and this was something common that he was doing in the first day as well that I was watching. He was buying those Moonbanes pretty early.
Yeah, but with Edward coming out here, he has an opportunity of actually putting himself with his Moonbane for this Romy Yang. So confirming that is kind of the biggest option right now, especially for the Romy Yang circle and how much threats are in the lobby. Because we got to think about it, right? We have the reset in the Romy Yang for itself, so anyone can take a fight outside and just grief your entry with your Yang pass. But more importantly, other Liams can disrupt your opportunity here. So for him, for Edward, it's kind of an opportunity to see whether or not he finds himself.
Kita bisa beli ini tau, yang naga-naga ini. Ruby.
Kita
bisa manipulasi gitu loh. Kita yang buat ininya, zonanya, zona yang biru, yang ungu-ungu itu loh. Nah ini, itu beli ininya, beli apa sih namanya tuh kayak di bawah tuh apa sih namanya, lupa gue. Jadi kita bisa buat sendiri itu. Musuh kan nggak berani dia masuk ke dalam ini. Nggak kena, karena kita yang buat.
Too down compared to other weapons, but still, if you're able to catch that prio and a character like Liam with that V2,
nggak misalkan kita ngeliat musuh nih kan, biasa tuh kita ngeliat musuh ada di mana, udah turunin di situ.
In that V2,
buat ngurang-ngurangin
being able to
armor mereka
from high ground, try to catch him in the wall. I mean, it's just endless possibilities that you're able to do, especially with a character like Liam. Posted up for that Roman Yang. We're gonna have to wait to see how he does. 3 seconds and counting. Gonna have our first Roman Yang pretty soon here for our 3rd game of the day. Once again, guys, 28-point threshold. First players that are entering that threshold are going to be able to be eligible on their next following game. But in order to take the chip home, they have to take that MVP to be able to win the full bi-weekly one here for our 2025 bi-weekly season. I mean, crazy. 2025, right? 2025. Now I've had the pleasure, speed run for real. I mean, I had the pleasure to watch a lot of these players grow, and I mean, it's just the level it is now. It's just immaculate to watch these players play.
Exactly. We're going to start off here, though. Edward, he's the main character. He's the protagonist right now. Considering he's in first place. 1 R&B to the next. Looking for the ball against Arano here. F2 is going to be invested for him, so no combo breaker is going to be available. Arano then forces out Edward's combo breaker as a result. We're catching the staggers. There it is. Oh, this might be a TOD position right then and there. Now, Arano has around 10 to 12 seconds left before his combo breaker is ready to go here, so we're going to see whether or not he's going to get this kill in time. Going to be a 1-2-3 carousel extension. That's going to be it. That's going to be it. That is going to be setting him up. Arano goes down, and that's going to be for our second Romy Yang.
Oh, V2 rebounds into the carousel there from Edward. Look at crispy Edward coming out here for first Romy Yang. Slide uppercut raw there from Fawn into the fan swap as well. H-Shot's gonna eat up a lot of damage. That's long sword in hand though, trying to bait out that Ev as fast as possible. Getting caught up there from the R&B. Liam ultimate investor here for H-Shot. Trying to see if he can catch, but another raw uppercut into the V2 here there from Fawn. Does not catch the rebounds, but a pistol shot finisher there from Fawn onto H-Shot. Now 3rd Romy Yang. Now we have, I believe, no, we're not gonna see it, but we do have XY and Mike going at it. Mike drops very low here on the Siren, needs to be real careful. No ultimate online, gets caught up here from Choose as well. Jump LMB, Shy ultimate invested there onto Mike. Jump LMB, area R&B nearly connects there onto Mike to get the elimination. Now another player I believe showing up, XY in the mix, and Choose still trying to secure this elimination on the board, but Mike doing a really good job icing out all this pressure. Does manage to create the space for now, but he needs to be real careful in the situation. Does manage to catch a common armor swap. Another player showing up as well, Star, and this could be very, very bad here for OUG's Mike.
Exactly. I was about to mention no eliminations. He could be one person to go for another 0-point game. And now it's coming down towards Mike. The only, the Syra inside of this Eventide Temple is going to be just trying to go ahead off of their resources. He's got 10 armor patterns, though, but common armor is not going to go a long way. Edward, though, getting chased down to the southeastern end of the Eventide Temple, chasing down by Spider, looking for Saga, doesn't catch it. This is dual blades of gold rarity, and then is looking at towards his Lonnie. It might be a chance here to see whether or not Fong looks for the yoink, as Edward is going to be going for it. Now, obviously, right now for the LMBs, right, Spider's looking to try to chase this with the RBs. Nice blue armor slot for Edward. That's 900 armors. There's a double blue focus coming in. And he's looking for 1, 2, 3s. He releases those. Another R&B, but he's going to go through it, and there's going to be the F1 passive that comes out where E is able to keep his weapon so long as he uses his F ability just in time. Now, Spider gets caught by the orb. He gets thrown to the opposite direction, gets a little bit of healing towards Edward, but he's still going to be chased down here as Fong is going to be the menace in the lobby.
Wow. Still trying to stay up. Has the Vermilion's burst. Might catch his Fong now on the V2. Slams down. Shayo comes in hot as well. And Edward is going to fall here. It's a beautiful elimination there from Spider. And now Spider with gold dual blades in hand. Another recast out to 2 players. Fong's going to eat up all that damage as well as Wu Fong. Both of those players getting caught up here by the Shayo. Doesn't connect off of that one. That was the last shield there from Spider. Justina freeze dodge there for Spider. Overholds the R&B focus. Gets the damage onto Wu Fong. Wu Fong now with a massive parry down to Spider. Can't get a capitalization off of that. I don't know what happened there. That could have been a potential full jungle, but now a third party. A Zhao, Wu Fong drops very low. Pistol shot finisher there from A Zhao, and A Zhao manages to cleanse as well. No, doesn't catch the soul blue. Catches another one. Catches the cleanse. Now the V2 slam down there onto Fong. R&B Mings in the back end. Longsword LB focus there from Edward, showcasing now coming back. Now Fong in a real predicament here against 2 Liams. Edward snags up the elimination. Reek comes back, gets the scrap off back. He's like, man, I'm not gonna let that fly. He comes right back, gets his 3rd elimination of the game. But A Zhao, man, A Zhao playing very, very good in the rock right now. I mean, but Edward as well, right? Edward with a beautiful, beautiful Rama Yang, being able to catch the carousel off the B2 there. I mean, wow. I mean, that group is Group A looking scary right now with these 2 players on the field.
Exactly. It's one thing too is Asia has great discipline there. He didn't on top of the ultimate to be still in play, and that Soul Bloom as well. He stepped away from it. He knew he wasn't going to be able. If he tried to take it opportunity, that could have been a huge scare rush. That could have been Stagger, and he would have been caught out, burned combo breaker just like this right now. R&B gets released here. Arana looks for the R&B. Repositioned up on top. It looks like there's a chance here to see whether or not Arana can catch the Stagger off of Chishang, who is going to be caught through. There it is. Stagger comes in. Valda ultimate preempted. He still has 40 seconds for his Romanian, which you get rid of. There's going to be one jump on the extension. We're burning for time. Arana looks for the spear throw. Wild haymaker throw, but it is going to be up to no avail. And now for Arano, hiding around the corner, getting chased out by ASC's XY. Frostmas is still in the mid. We haven't seen much of Frostmas today, especially considering we've seen him getting killed off screen, and it's kind of an unfortunate circumstance, but he still hasn't gotten himself any eliminations this game. He's playing out to mulch. He's in the mix right now in terms of looking around. He's at the southern eastmost end. Maybe he has a reset for his gear. We'll have to take a look and see him because Arano right now is getting melted.
Yeah, this is bad. Who's gonna be able to snag out the elimination here onto Arano? Eating up a lot of damage. It's gonna be Balda's Choose there with the elimination onto WZ's Arano, FPHQ Star, and Balda's Choose. He's like, watch out, this is my loot. Back up, this is my loot. SR Spider's like, nah, y'all thought I'm gonna go snag up some of these Vitalis. Whatever he got there from that body. Choose as well is gonna retop off there on the resources. Now everybody scatters, right? 14 minutes, second round Yang. Gonna start forming up now. Do have 15 seconds to be able to take that round. The first one posted up. OA's Edward looking to go right back into that Roma Yang. We saw how strong he's looking at these Roma Yangs. I don't think he's dropped a round thus far tonight. I mean, I think he is undefeated.
Oh no, he cast a curse.
Nah, I ain't cast a curse him. It's OA Edward.
That's just me.
Berapa orang lagi? Habiskan ini lah.
That comes out, Shang actually finds the godsend.
Kisah berapa orang lagi? 3 orang lagi.
Slash blade and Kabloom, so that's gonna be the case. So we're gonna see. He didn't find any dual blades yet, but there's gonna be a common opportunity for A shot right now. No specialty jades, Hong sword and long sword of gold or purple rarity, and a gold pair of dual blades. In his Rami Yang by himself, no one's contesting this, at least for a little bit of a moment. XY here outside of this Rami Yang circle, just waiting for the timeout to see you can get a free round for a 3rd option. Has explosive armor, has a switch dazzle. I hope it doesn't swap out. But then again, he's using Halberd, so he's more used to the sheath swap where he's able to sheath the weapon and then getting it for free. But he still has a fan, right? So he can use that as escape out. He's up against A-Shot, but always Edward up against WBG Spider. We're going to have to watch this one out because, like I said, protagonist territory right now. Rami Yang is going to be coming out here for him against Verse, who is playing out the Syra, and there's going to be a scale-out difference. Otherwise, it's up to Verse with the skill set to beat him out.
Let me see if I got a power to cast the curse. Let's see. OA Edward on the start off here with the gold dual blades in hand. Trying to find an opening here against the Syra. Has to have to stay safe there against that R&B focus. Just blue halberds in hand there first. Always Edward trying to find a fitting or trying to find an opening here against the Syra. And I mean, once that Syra pops out ultimate, it's gonna be a kiting game here for Edward. We see both of them playing that scare rush there on the backside of that pillar. Now he's gonna eat up a little bit of damage off the R&B. His pistol shot connects there for Versus as well, eating up a lot of damage. Oh, Sinzit gets the R&B prior off of that though. Sinzit again gets the damage. F-Card in there for the Syra, has the opening if he needs it right now. Trying to see he can find the prior. Manages to catch it into the TOD with the V2. Gonna go ahead and pop that Vitalia, slams him on the wall. R&B focus, make R&B damage as well. And Edward with the gold dual plays. I ain't casting curse tonight here, Saveria. I'm not.
All right, you caught me. You got me. Listen, this is actually kind of dangerous right now because he got gold. He got gold halberds. He's got a second pair of dual wielding weapons. He's got armor pierce from that. As well as looking for a standard strike, which I'm not sure he's going to be using. But 4 eliminations.
Kok delay gitu? Delay banget.
Making it happen right now. It's actually kind of impeccable. Versus actually when he loses it out, it's going to be coming out. You know, with a loss of words because he's a Syra and everyone trying to look to try to burn out her ult or not even take
Aku juga monitor di HP.
Anyways, ASC XY, he won his Rummy Yang. It looks like it was up against you know, with A-Shao, and A-Shao actually losing his.
Di anu aja, di apa di.
Hopefully see a replay on that.
What's namanya itu? Di reload aja, reload
aja. It's
interesting
seeing how the Lonnie beats out the
Langsung ke
Liam,
depan
but
dia
at the same time you see the outplays that come out here, especially between the ultimates. Now for Mike though, inside of this building, hiding out. Edward's on the hunt. Mike's on the hiding, you know, peephole, but Versus also just making sure he can just not put the attention because he's got blue armor, blue weapons. But Mike gets found out by Edward.
I mean, he just fought a Syra, so he knows.
Udah tapi ya,
nice little
karena
ship carried
penontonnya
out from
sepi,
Mike. Edward now
masih tipis
still applying tons
pendapatannya.
of pressure. Anybody can catch the smoke here from always Edward. He is not playing around. He wants to take this chip home. Looking pristine right now. Looking very beautiful right now. Playing out this Naraka.
Ngapain dia, Cok?
Already investing that Syra ultimate. Trying to top off this health as much as possible.
Ultinya
Ulti's about to be gone pretty soon. And first one in is going to be Edward. As we see him getting dazzled there. So the pressure is going to be slow down. But now Mike trying to create as much distance as possible. Nearly gone off that purple armor as well. Full grappling in. Edward as well. WBG's verse on the backside.
Berapa orang sih?
Second player trying to apply the pressure onto OUG's Mike.
10.
Now, cuts line of sight. Is you able to hear him? He does hear him, I believe, and spots him as well. R&B Minx, nope, gets the damage off the R&B Minx this time around. Since the focus, oh my god, the 1-2-3 nearly connects there as well. LB focus there from Mike. Gets the damage onto Edward. Dazzle as well, gets caught up on the side of the train. He's gonna go ahead and invest the ultimate, catches him in the ball as well. He said, you gonna eat this damage.
Tapi belum tentu biar support juga. Kalau pinter mainnya.
God, he is unstoppable right
now. Gak habis-habis ininya.
Right now, we're gonna see A-Shot's point of view here. The other way in the lobby, throws out the V2, throws it out against Verse. Has only like 200, 300 HP, so he could get pistol shotted by Verse right now. It could be over. But Verse is looking to try to find him out. Takes a double pack. You know, look left, look right, look left, and he's trying to cross the road. But it looks like there's a stop sign for everybody because everyone's trying to make their way in terms of the morning traffic. Because Verse right now, you know, this is off the dome. We're gonna have to see whether or not Verse is gonna be making sure if A-Shao can get eliminated by him, and if he can pick up that soul bloom to get the Romeo depletion to get rid of. But there it is, no elimination. But that soul bloom is still for opportunity, and Verse finds it. Now, obviously, Fong with the dual blades goes after the drop down blue focus. We're gonna see a gold Syra ultimate in play. Let's see if Verse can come out here, CA.
I mean, Verse applying tons of pressure down to Fong. Fong, able to kite this out. WG's Verse is gonna eat up a lot of damage in the zone. I mean, there it is. All that health is gone now. Trying to top off with that Vitalia, does manage to do so. XY keeping his eyes onto the Syra inside the zone. Fong does manage to kite out the situation to be able to come on in for a potential third party, and we're not seeing a lot of success here from DRG's Fong's playstyle this time around. It was a very big nuisance throughout the Pro League for a very long time, but I feel like these players has been caught up. One of DRG's Fong's very Shangsu was being able to have that movement right as soon as he gets that fan out. It's very hard to catch him. He was very slippery, always being able to manage to get out of bad situations with his fan movement or slash dagger. But right now, trying to play the third party game, these players are they're contesting these and picking up these eliminations very quickly. I mean, look at the hunter. Oh, he's Edward. I mean, he's looking for that third party potential right now, going down for drop down R&B, trying to see who's weak. He does see Verse very weak inside that hut. Syra could be in a big problem here. Fong as well, looking for Verse. Verse does manage to top out that blue armor, but this could be very bad here for WBG's Verse.
Yeah, you know, it's also another thing to point out. We've seen this multiple times so far today. The 1-2-3s with the Science Thing. We saw the flying kick earlier with the gold nunchucks. Now we're seeing with the dual blades. It's a surprise, surprise. Some things that players may not even anticipate for it to come out, and then it comes out again and again. They're like, there's no way. They're finding that neutral opportunity, right? Finding the the stack against the odds of a skill or a J that people may not realize. But it also comes out with a little bit of healing, right? So a little bit cherry on top actions. First though, boom, bam, bob gets blown up. I should say XY got blown up, and now it's a gold armor for Verse. Freeload pretty much.
Itu ini apa itu?
For this movie, those stars in the northeast corner also hiding.
Enggak, dicampur.
Whether or not Spider is hiding up
S campur A campur sip baru ini. Baru G untuk ininya. Dia kan langsung begitu kan menghindar langsung ngeblok gitu kan. Biar senjata orang jatuh.
In order for him to get the multiplier necessary for this right now. So he would potentially just chill out, you know,
ayo.
He's gonna fight it out.
Selesaikan ini dulu, tapi dikit lagi nih. Bentar lagi buka puasa aja. Ditunggu orang kok.
More to the level 5 Juggernaut.
Kita
listen, guys. So he's
15 menit, 3 menit lagi lah.
Armor appears. He got the quick charge. He doesn't have a musket, but he does. He's. You know what? It's everything in the mix right now for Edward. He can hide out. He can just play it out for second place and fight and kill the final player. That's literally all he needs to do in order to get out to match point.
Yeah, and I mean, the problem with that could also be that if he's playing a little very conservative, they could potentially focus him, right? I mean, we've seen it time and time again where the players are trying to play that slow game, get called out. I mean, in this situation, there is not another Liam in play. There's 2 Shayols, and everybody else is alone with, I believe, but choose Spider back in, getting active there in the spirit. Well, Edward as well. If he's able to contest and capture this Mystic Might, I mean, it's over. I mean, you saw the full inventory he has in his loadout. Spider trying to contest the spirit well as well. The main character in the zone, OA, is Edward. So go ahead and invest this Liam V2. Trying to see he can catch anybody lacking with it as well. The backside. Oh my god, look at the damage. Catches Spider. Come here, boy. R&B gets the damage as well. Catches Mystic Might as well. Has to re-ult as well. I mean, Edward has full capabilities to win out this whole game.
He literally does, but he has to catch a proximity shot for this second orbit. You can find it for Spider, but Spider is cutting this out, and he's making it really hard for him to kind of look for the usage for the second orb. He finds it. Nope, he doesn't. Just barely enough range. Heal, armor reset, everything for Spider to stay alive, but everyone's focusing down. The last shield block comes out. He throws. He doesn't get any sort of confirmation, so he's not locked in animation. But for Edward, he can look for the cannon shots here. Not going to be a problem for the proximity shots, but everyone is looking for this low health Shio.
Pasti senjatanya satu yang
Edward's able to pull this out with 9 kills. We're gonna have a first character. I mean, our first player, the threshold off of 3 games alone. I don't think I've ever seen that, but still got a long game to be played out here for game number 3. And circles where the magic happens for a lot of these players.
Kalau nggak Canon mereka tuh
he catches him. Oh
my
god, he catches him through the hut there. Picks up the elimination onto Spider.
Baru headshot, kalau sekali headshot kamu langsung pecah armor itu.
Edward, and just everything, just beautiful played out here from OA's Edward. I mean, this could be a whole montage here from Edward alone, being played out here for game number 3. It's just crispy gameplay. It has a gold armor swap as well, and look what it is. The gold armor is landing right in the next zone as well, so he's chilling right now. Big chilling.
Insult to injury, the Moon Main didn't even look his way. Couldn't be him. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be any other player like Spider. And that's an unfortunate circumstance that came out that round too. That's tough, bro. The Moon Main is the real antagonist this journey, man. This year, we thought last year's it was difficult. No, this year, like especially with the changes last year, but this year, everyone's getting caught up, even the trios teams. Now for everything coming out, Edward drops down, skywalking over here. He can make sure he can try to capture out somebody, an opponent, and he's gonna get caught at the 1-2, no 3 from 3-peat from Burst. There's a blue focus coming out for resend. 50% on the rage bar right now for Edward, so he doesn't have ultimate ready to go. But that armor, like you said, is still on standby. Frost is waiting for that spear well to deplete in the next minute or so that way he can find that gold armor use for himself. Very nice macro gameplay for Fox Spec there too, just to make sure that he isn't in the field of the play of where everyone is, but also making sure that he can get supplies for the endgame circle as it's most. We saw him get an MVP in last I think into his day, that second day of playing, where he was able to get